Thank you, and it's so lovely to be here today. So my name's Kat, I'm Chief Design Officer at the Design Council, and we believe that whatever the question, design has an answer. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Design Council. I'm going to then talk to you about why beautiful design matters, and then, like Mike was saying, why beautiful design is quite simply good design. So this was the first meeting of the Design Council in 1944. We were set up before the end of the Second World War by Winston Churchill's wartime cabinet. And our role was to promote the post-war economy through the use of good design. And 75 years on, our purpose, we're a charity, and our purpose is to make life better by design. And we do this through the good design of products, where we started, but also through places, through better processes and services, all of which create better economic and social performance. And we do programs on the ground. We've been working with Highways England and other clients. We do really good research to show the value of design, and then we use all of that to influence government policy to create more design in the world. And we offer services across architecture and the built environment, across public service design, and around business innovation. So today, some of my examples will be around highways, but some of them will be from other sectors that we can also learn from. And we've got a huge array of networks and experts. So John, who will be speaking later, is one of our 500 built environment experts and design associates that we draw on their expertise. So first of all, to why beautiful design? 4 reasons: health and well-being, inclusion, safety, and economics. So beautiful well-being, beautiful health and well-being. We produced a report a couple of years ago called Beautiful Places, Beautiful People, and we were asking people about the value of beauty, why it matters to them. And at its most basic, it's about well-being. So this is Asad. He lives in Sheffield. It's not a brilliant photo, but he was saying for him, beauty, the natural beauty, really helps him improve his mental well-being. And there were many others like him. But I came across another quote, which is slightly longer, again from Sheffield, and who was saying that for him, beauty is around a connection between the places, the buildings around him, and his heritage. So here he was talking about a place in Sheffield where he was going under a bridge, but what was important for him, what made the road beautiful and attractive, was the sense that all his family had lived there previously and worked there. And this relates to an example from the USA. This is a beautiful example here, 7th Street, Gantry, going through West Oakland in California, where the gantry is emblazoned with images of African-American leaders and really creates a sense of belonging for the local community. So beautiful inclusion. This is an example not about a highway, but a home. So here, quite often, beautiful design makes people feel included, that it's for them, that someone has spent time designing something that makes them feel special. So this is Joseph, who lives in Goldsmith Street, and Goldsmith Street is a social council project which just recently won the Sterling Prize. So again, beautiful design does not need to be expensive. Beautiful safety. Again, not a highway, but a hospital. This is an example from a piece of work we did at the Design Council, where in A&E's hospital aggression costs £69 million a year. There's 59,000 assaults on A&E staff each year. And a normal approach might have been to employ a security guard or put a glass screen up between the patients as they come in. But taking a design approach, putting people at heart, meant that we spent time with people in A&E, understanding what was going through their heads. They were worried about their loved ones. They didn't know what was going on. They were frustrated, and that was coming out as aggression. So we were mapping out what was happening to them, and we played that back to them. And by beautiful visualization, it calmed everything down and reduced hospital aggression by 50%. Relating though to roads, this is an example from Melbourne in Australia, the St Helena Tunnel in Byron Bay in Australia. And here, often roads can get monotonous, which we know is a problem for road safety, but the red of the inside of the tunnel is where the exits are, the greys reflect the field patterns outside, and helps reduce the monotonous that drivers experience through tunnels, making them safer. Beautiful economics. So we know that beauty can attract tourists and that can promote economic growth, creating places where people want to go to. This is an example of a small town in the north of England, 40 miles south of Scotland, called Amble. And it's a coastal fishing village. Like many villages, fishing had been in decline. A new employer came into the town, a food factory, but that also went bust, more people unemployed, and so they were in a state of depression. And they needed to rebuild a lobster factory on the seafront. But rather than just doing that, they actually asked the citizens, what do you actually want from this? And they said, well, we want self-employment. So rather than another fish factory, they created lots of these little pods all around the seafront where people could start their own businesses, where they could create surf schools, restaurants and craft shops. And all of a sudden, this little town became alive. It became a foodie destination, and in 2015 won the High Street of the Year award. And for the economy point, it's attracted £18 million of investment, which isn't bad for a town of 6,000 people. And so we all know there's lots of examples of people's favourite roads. They've become tourist attractions. This is in the south of France. And just to make the point, this is a picture that I found of me and my partner, and I made him travel 7 hours outside our journey in order to cross this road. And then I was so scared that I had to actually close my eyes as we went across it. But we did spend money in the local area, boosting the economy. So I just wanted to talk about the point that Mike raised. So beautiful design, for me personally, is just good design. It's design that works, that allows people to do what they need to do. So Herbert Simon in the 60s said that, everyone designs who turns existing situations into preferred ones. And for us at Design Council, design is as much about the thing that you produce as a problem-solving process to get there. And we use something called the Double Diamond, which we created 15 years ago. And essentially it says, rather than jumping straight to the solution in the second diamond, spend some time first talking to people, finding out what the real problem is, because quite often it's different from what you think it is, and you can come up with a load of different answers if you widen out your inquiry. So this is it, as we've evolved it. But importantly, there's a number of principles at its heart, and one of those is being people-centered. Again, a different example, this is something I worked on when I was in government. In the policy lab, we were having to come up with a future, a rail strategy, passenger strategy. And the Department for Transport at the time just wanted to use the Rail Passenger Survey, which asked some key questions around punctuality, price, and convenience. And these all seem like sensible questions. But when we went and spent time with people who weren't commuters, people who had buggies, people who were partially sighted, and we spent time taking journeys with them, understanding their perspectives, we realized that actually panic, anxiety, and stress are more important things. And we showed them a video of this woman trying to get onto a train. Her buggy got caught. The train guard got her off the train so it could get where it was going on time, leaving Gracie standing on the platform. They were shocked. And so then, as a result, the strategy changed from being around convenience and getting people to work to a panic-free journey for all. So we've got our road, but we know that there's not just one type of user on our roads. We've got drivers, we've got tourists, but we've also got residents and passengers and pedestrians, cyclists, and let's not forget animals. So we've heard about drivers and how we can design roads better for drivers, and you'll have lots and lots of examples. We've also talked about the tourist. But we've also got other examples. So this is the Weymouth Relief Road, where it was designed with biodiversity in mind, but also making sure that we've got really beautiful vistas so that passengers can enjoy the landscape. This is the Craigbourne Bypass in Melbourne, and for residents, it's really important that you've got these undulating walkways which hide the noise of the highway, but also provide this really beautiful vista for the driver and the passenger to enjoy as they approach the city. In Seattle, in the 1960s, the Interstate 5 cut through the center of the city, dividing the east and west neighborhoods. And so the Freeway Park was created, which contains all these different architectural features like canyons and cascades, which again mask out the thundering noise of the traffic, but also echo the beautiful mountain landscape that surrounds the city. And just not too far away from there, in the Colorado Mountain corridor, the two roads, the two lanes of the highway diverge often so that they can maintain the vegetation and the views of the Canyon Parkway, and also create really wonderful, amazing pathways for cyclists and for whitewater rafters and for joggers. And then finally, let's not forget birds, insects, and animals. This is in the Netherlands, and here we saw an example in Lamberhurst, but here is creating a green overpass so that not only does the highway fit within the natural setting of its environment, but also can create places where animals can cross easily. So to end then, beautiful design can clearly create some really important outcomes, whether they be social around health and well-being and inclusion, or more economic like safety and monetary value. But for me, beautiful design is good design, which is people-centered design and eco-centered design. Thank you very much.